What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Pumps and Hoses Early Access Weekend. My name is Simulation for the Nation, and today we are going to be looking into how can you operate with the actual pumps and hoses for spreading slurry or digestate. And we're going to have a look into it in a few different approaches. The first approach we're going to look into is obviously using this dribble bar with our hose systems set up on the field there already. And you'll see these are going all the way around. We've got a connection there. And it's looping back along the side there, looping back along the side and down the edge. And we're going to work our way towards the tractor and tanker at the bottom end of the field. First of all, though, we need to go down there. We'll just check out what we've got down there as well. Walk you through some of the experiences I found there, getting this set up there, any issues you may have, and we'll see how we get going. So down here, we've obviously got the field tanker. We've also got the Valtra powering it on tick over there with the PTO engaged. The pump here is driving the hose system here. Now, first thing you need to look out for when you come on into the store and when you're deciding which equipment you need is you need to check over to see how far in meters the pump that you are about to use could actually push the slurry. So if you plan to go several fields away, you're going to want to go for one of the larger pumping systems. 1,000 meter length there that you're able to push through. In comparison, this guy here is only 700 meters. This is what we're using. So that's why I ran into that issue in the live stream where we just didn't quite have enough, and this one's only 300 meters. So you want to make sure you got a powerful enough pump, and then you want to make sure that your tractor can actually power it. And if your tractor doesn't have the power, well, it's all right, because we can put water into here and we can use water to act as a bit of a primer and to reduce the amount of power needed to push that slurry. You'll see right now both the water tank is actually empty. So in this instance, there's two things you can do. One, you could drive this up towards a water bowser, and you could just simply tap on R and it will fill it up. Now it's going to use just a little bit of that water every time, just to kind of prime the pump through and get it going. Once you are going, you should be fine, and you won't need it. The slurry will do the rest of the job. There is a different option that we can take there. We're going to look into that with the other machine later on in the video. So once you've got your water tank filled, you'll see that it is slowly ticking down, and the slurry is in the tank there as well and ready to go. So we are all connected. You can obviously keep this filled up by either bringing another tanker to it to fill up there, or taking this back to your lagoon or your store to fill that up there as well. I'm sure keep an eye out for various future updates from Wopster for the hose mod, where you'll be able to connect these in and fill that up nicely. But we are pumping slurry. The slurry right now is working its way along this pipe here, around all the bends there, through the less than 700 meters and into our tractor. So let's get ourselves in there and let's see what the next step is. So a couple of things to look for when you are ready to go in your tractor here. Press Y to lower down the implement, which is going to lower over that the attaching pipe that comes out the back there, and then you are ready to go. You'll see the back end is on blue. Now you'll see in the bottom right corner you got 500 meters, you got 29%. That is actually how much hose is left on your hose reel at the front there. Nothing to do with how much slurry is coming out. So right now you should be good to go. Put down and you'll see that we are applying slurry. Now we are applying slurry based off the precision farming there, the automatic activation, but it's going in. So it's worth pointing out that you can use your GPS on here much like you would for any other slurry spreading machine or setup, and it will work seamlessly. And then all you're going to do is just drive from one end, keep on going down there. The hoses will come with you as you go, and then you are going to be able to just slowly and surely get closer and closer to the end of that field. And then this is it, really. Nice and straightforward method to do it. Not going to drive over your hoses there or repeatedly squashing your hoses. You want to try and avoid that where possible. Really handy having the little tail on the applicator here, just so that you can it gives you a nice wide turn radius, so you avoid that when you're turning over there. Crucially, you'll see slurry is still spreading there. We're not running into any issues. If we bring up our PDA here, you'll see that the slurry is being spread in accordance with the yield mapping as well there, so it's all looking very good indeed. As you progress down through the field here, you will naturally look to run out, at which point now you just need to jump out of here, stop wherever you are. If you're a one-man operation, that is, at least stop wherever you are, and then you can just easily and simply fill up the bowser and go again. We are using the largest setup here from a slurry spreading applicator. This dribble bar is the widest that we have available. There are other dribble bars that will incorporate a disc method. We're going to have a look into that really, so you can drill into cultivated into stubble, and it will leave it cultivated and worked over there, but we will cross that bridge soon. Otherwise though, really fantastic looking setup here. The equipment is just incredibly well detailed, and I think this is a shining example of some of the work that the creative team have put into this design. We're going to stop at the end here. As you stop as well, there's nothing that you need to disable or turn off there. It will just stop you. Now, maybe at some point it'd be good to see that you have to turn off like a macerator or a pump somewhere. Otherwise, you start to see it overflow and spreading out here. That's very much not the case here. Now, the dribble bars in question here, you can, of course, use them in this mount here. They do come in a few different setups that you have to purchase so you can make this work properly. As you come on into slurry tanks, the first thing you need to get if you want to mount it on the back of a 3-point linkage is actually going to be the tool carrier. Now, the tool carrier is going to be essential because it allows you to connect to your 3-point linkage there. This is where you do connect through to your pipe, and then you mount the dribble bar onto the back there as well. Certain dribble bars are going to be able to be connected to the back of a slurry tanker at some point as well, so you could just go directly into that route as well, should you like to, but nice and easy nonetheless. You've got varying different ranges, like I say, a few different styles as well. You've got from the 8 meters here through to the 12, and a few different approaches as well with disc coulters and tines to go with it. Lots of different options there based off what your practices are going to be. So this method has been done and dusted there. This field won't take too long to finish up, but you get the principle and the idea behind it. We're going to jump over to the farm now, where we're going to have a look at the second option, which is a bit more direct and it's a little bit more interesting. So you join us here at our slurry lagoons. Now, these are the lagoons for the digestate actually from our biogas plant behind us here. Now, these are filling up nicely, and what's great about this is at the moment you need your pump. These lagoons have nothing. They need a pump to pump out the whatever is in these tanks, be it slurry or digestate, and you need to be able to pump this into your tanker wherever that may be. Right now you can't see it, but so we're using the largest pump that we have here. It's on a John Deere 7R350. We've got the air compressor on the front as well. We'll get to why we have that very shortly, but at the moment there is no need to actually have this here tank connected to the pump. I'm sure at some point, like I say, when Wobster's hose mod arrives, I think these mods or these connections here do look suspiciously like those that we're used to, and I do believe we're going to see it connect onto there in the very near future. That is going to add a whole nother level of realism. I cannot wait to see that come in, but for now you don't need that. For now you just need to be in proximity. That is turning, that is already turned on and pumping through. So with this tank on the back here, this is a water tank. If we jump on in as well, you can put water into here, or you can even put a little bit of slurry in, I do believe, just as a to prevent you from running out really. But right now we are using just water. So that idea being, again, because we're pumping this a long way, that it allows you just to take the load off a little bit from the pump and therefore the engine itself, and just to really push on through. So the tractor is pumping away. On the front here is our air compressor. We're going to use this to clear out our tanks and our pipes and our lines when we finish. But for now, let's follow the hose. Now, as you can see, this is quite a long length of pipe here, and so far it is pumping it with an absolute ease. This is why you might want that water on there, just to make that a little bit easier. And you'll see we're down the bottom here. What I think we're going to do actually is go to the top of the hill and work our way back down away from the pipe. But yeah, everything else is looking good and it's all set up, ready to go there. What we need to do now, though, is get into this tractor. So you'll see immediately there that the pump is actually not working. So we do need to go and power that back up again and get that working properly, which is fine. What we're going to do right now, though, is this raise this up. You'll see that we are using the disc coulters on here. So it is actually cultivating over the grass as we drive over it, which is fine. Allows you to see where you're working. Ideally, obviously, you'd want to use this on your stubble ground rather than this grass field, but you get the idea behind it. We'll just bring ourselves back on up to the top here, making sure not to drive over our hose there again, and we'll just stick this in the ground about here. And that's down. Fantastic. We'll jump back on over and make sure everything is active with the pump. So we're inside. You can see the tractor spinning over there, but crucially, the pump is not going. So let's engage that. You'll see our needles go, which means our pressure is jumping up through the pipe there, which is great. Time to jump back on over to the Massey. Ideally, we'd have someone on the walkie-talkie there allowing us to work, but you'll see as we start to progress there that the slurry is coming out into the ground there, and crucially, you'll see that the yield map is changing for the nitrogen levels there, which confirms to us through precision farming that our slurry is being spread. And that is as simple as that. As we continue to work our way along the field here, you'll see that pipe starts to follow us back down, and we should see that the pipe on the roadside does the same as well. We made sure that we have hopefully sufficient levels of pipe there. The pipe comes into the middle, but it can reach to both ends, and we should be very good indeed. Now, interestingly, if you do find that you end up lifting up out of the ground like this, you can always find out what's gone wrong by simply going back in, hitting to lower down your machine again. And it will tell you that we've got no pump connected there. So let's go and find out why. So interestingly, for reasons unbeknown to us there, we've started to lose a little bit of pipe there. It was pulling in the wrong direction, it does seem. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Maybe we're just a little bit too tight and we want to be a little bit more careful with how and where we lay this pipe down there. So perhaps not taking it on quite such a long loop around there to make it a little bit easier. And that's something we're going to have to play around with. What I do particularly like about this though is the fact that it does not glitch when you lay your pipe over different terrains there. It's not freaking out here, for example, or it's not getting caught on trees or bushes or anything and then going crazy there. It just lays on the deck as it should do, and it's fine. It allows you to get through the field as much as possible and really work out the next steps. So what we need to do then is probably add in another little bit of pipe, which we'll do now, because we can add them into any real stages of this, and it'll give us a little bit more flexibility to work with. And we'll see how we get on. So on the back of here, we already have a 100-meter roll on the back here. I put my black rolls into 100 meters just so I can keep an eye on what there is and where it is. And makes it just a little bit easier as far as I'm concerned. On this here, we also have a compressor on the front. This is a pumping trailer, really. It's got a water pump on the back there as well, so you can have a constant water source. Absolutely stunning little bit of equipment. It really, really is. But for right now, all we're going to use this for, really, is to unwind, really. So we're going to layer the first bit down, and what we're going to do here actually is we're going to turn this around. We're going to start with the first bit as close to the pump as possible, and then we're going to end up wherever this ends up. Only 100 meters, so it's not too bad. Again, all of the winding and unwinding is the same across all of the different machines, regardless of which one you choose. Nice and straightforward. So this will add in another 100 meters to the mix here, nice and easy. And that'll give us just that little extra bit to work in, all being well. So then you can only move this pipe around if you have a special tool available to you. That tool is going to be the little spanner, which is available in miscellaneous. You want to pick that up. Like so. And then you go for a walk. Again, notice that it's not glitching. It's not freaking out, or it's not sending you and your character up into the air. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. Which again, it's a little thing, I know, but it's just... I think it works so well. We're going to keep pulling this up here. We're going to go past this a long way as well. And then we're just going to loop back around. That'll give us that extra little bit of flex there. Nice and easy. Drop it on the floor near it. Press attach. And the two connect. Again, we'll do the same at this end. We're just going to easily pick that up. Rock on over. Drop it vaguely near. Jump on in. And then left shift Q. Attach. Oh, and just like that, we're off to the races again. So we'll jump on right back over to the Massey and we'll get spread slurry. So once you're back on in there, everything looks to be good, which is fantastic. So all we need to do is jump back onto here. We're going to lower it back down again. And you'll see, right as rain, we are off to the races. Alright, and folks, so just before we wrap up here, if you have finished spreading for the day there, for example, there, or your tanks are empty, your fields are done, whatever it may be, before you wrap up there, you need to make sure that everything is looking good from your pipes perspective as you start to roll those through. We do that by using our compressor. Now you can have this air compressor on the front here, which also has handy little lights on the front there as well. And all you simply want to do is make sure that it is hooked in, powered on, which is great. And then we're just going to jump on in. Now you'll see at the bottom of the F1 menu there, umbilical hose clogged by 0%, which is good. That means that we're looking pretty good there so far. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn this on. First thing we need to do though is have the pump on the back turned on there, and then we're going to come around to the compressor. We need to build up some pressure first, so we're going to turn on the compressor. You'll see now that's all turned on there. We're going to let that pressure build up a little bit. What we'll have a look at whilst that's doing its thing, we have a pressure gauge on the front, which you brilliantly put right over the top of the PTO, so you can't really see that, but you'll see the needle is climbing, which is exactly what you want to see there. So we're going to leave that do its thing for just a little bit longer. We're at 20 psi there right now, so that looks like it's pretty darn good, which means we can just jump around here, jump on in, and then let's just go for X. And that is going to start to clear through the pipes on the front there as well. And as you see, it's already used up all the compression there as well. So that is the whole purpose of the compressor on the front there. It will allow you to ensure that you have everything cleaned up as you start to fold up, roll up all those pipes together, all those hoses, roll them all up onto the reels, that you're in a good place. And it's as simple as that. We're going to let that just tick through. We're going to do it one more time again as that continues to build up. So it keeps on going. And then it cleans itself through as well. And we're looking good. Everything is at 0. Now there's nothing in there to have blocked up there, so we don't need to worry about it too much. But folks, that is it. That's where we're going to leave it today. I hope you have enjoyed. This has been how to use the... This has been a guide for how to use the slurry applicators and all the pumps and hoses as well for the Creative Mesh DLC. Coming on September the 27th. If you do not have yours all sorted out yet, then you can use the promotion code down below there. That will help out the channel as well. Otherwise, it will be coming out on next Tuesday at time of recording there. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, please do leave them down below. I'll try and get back to you as quickly as we can with those. And we'll be looking to stream one more time over the course of the weekend as well. Until then, I hope you have enjoyed this. Give it a big thumbs up if you have. My name's been Simulation for the Nation, and we'll see you all in the next one. Catch you later.